I love Resident Evil. It's my favorite franchise of all time. And RE2 stands as my favorite of the entire series. So naturally, I was really excited for the remake.
It's coming. It's coming back!
But after beating both runs and saw the true ending, I feel some story elements does not make a whole lot of sense. And I'm sure I'm not the only one that noticed this either. So I want to give my take on the subject. I'm no writer or game designer, this is just something fun to do. In this and the following videos, I will try to address the narrative inconsistencies surrounding some of the boss fights, some cutscenes, and maybe change how the boss functions to give the players a more satisfying fight. A couple of rules. First, no major and no drastic changes allowed, such as Birkin 1 mutating into Birkin 3 in the span of one fight, or adding another game mechanic that wasn't in the remake to begin with, so Leon won't be suplexing any zombies. Second, all changes made has to make sense within the context of the game, such as I'm not allowed to give Birkin 3 the ability to fly as you fight him while the elevator is in free fall, and you only have 5 seconds to do so. This is not House of the Dead. Third, after the boss fight, the game has to keep playing how it is in the official release. I cannot make up any excuse that Leon fell down and somehow magically end up at the laboratory. If I absolutely have to make a change against the above 3 rules, I must provide reasons that make sense within the context of the game. For this narrative revision, I will go with Claire first run and Leon second run, or Claire A and Leon B. Because 1. Back in the original RE2, I consider Claire A and Leon B canon, largely because of one line from the infamous Resident Evil 6.
Leon's not just anyone. He saved my life back in Raccoon City.
And this line only makes sense when you play Leon B. At the end of Leon B in the original RE2, Claire will radio Leon and ask him to pick up Sherry at the security office.
Leon, you made it!
Claire? Is that you? Where are you?
I can see you on the monitor, but never mind that right now. Leon, you have to go back and get Sherry for me. I left her in the security office. Please, you must save her.
The security office?
Leon picks her up, takes her down the elevator, and places her in the escaping train, quite literally saving her from the impending explosion. In Leon A, he only met Sherry after boarding the escaping train. How did he quote-unquote save Sherry there? As for the second reason, I will address it at a later time. With all these said, let's get started. But first of all, spoilers ahead, you've been warned. The first boss fight happens when you leave the RPD via the 3 metal statue. Walk down a metal platform and fight Birkin stage 1 after he destroys and throws you off the platform. This boss fight is honestly pretty disappointing. A room full of zombies are more threatening. You can literally beat him without taking any damage. All Birkin 1 does is swinging the pipe around. He does run after you from time to time, but it's hardly an issue if you can kite him effectively and keeping him in range. A pretty mediocre fight overall, and I think most people can agree. What I want to do is give Birkin 1 an extra move, and it is to be able to throw the steel pipe at the player. It will be telegraphed, and if the player is hit, it will stun you for a few seconds as Birkin 1 walks up to you and use the grab move. And whether or not the pipe will hit, Birkin 1 will walk over at a point and pick it up to use the move again. I feel this addition gives Birkin 1 a fighting chance at range, instead of being kited around and shot at like a dummy. The player will constantly be looking over their shoulders to see if Birkin 1 is going to throw the pipe or not, adding a bit of tension to the fight, not just run and shoot. And I feel this move makes sense in the context of this fight. In the remake, when you beat Birkin 1, he falls over the railing and down into the abyss, and here is where the inconsistency happens. If Claire fought Birkin 1 and he went over the railing, how are you still fighting him during second run as Leon? You might argue that, oh, maybe the second run boss happened first, but that doesn't explain him there during the first run, right? It also doesn't explain how the platform remains not damaged and how the ladder is retracted. Am I supposed to believe that Birkin 1 climbed up all the way from Abyss, repaired the broken platform, somehow, retracted the ladder and just hang around for another person to casually walking by? That's a hard pill to swallow. Anyways, here comes my big change. During Claire A, after you defeated Birkin 1, he will instead fall down to the ground, incapacitated instead of over the railing. Then you climb the ladder, retract the ladder, and into the parking garage. And during Leon B, you will run the same metal platform, but instead you will see a destroyed platform. The gap will be too far to jump, and the doorway will be blocked, so you have no choice but to drop down. The unconscious Birkin 1 will wake up and he will mutate into Birkin 2. And this will be Leon's first boss fight. Birkin 2 will retain all the moves he has in the official game. You're just fighting him in the same place where Claire A fought Birkin 1. That is all. And when this fight is over, Birkin 2 will fall over the railing and into the abyss. The ladder will drop down by a mysterious person, Ada. The next portion of the game will be the same. Claire goes to the parking lot and Cheap Iron will take Sherry away. Leon will be attacked by zombie dogs and saved by Ada. In the original RE2, both A and B scenario offer different bosses for both characters. In scenario A, you fight G Adult before you enter the sewers, Birkin 2 during the elevator ride to the lab, Birkin 3 and 4 before you enter the elevator to the train platform. In scenario B, first fight is always Birkin 1 before you enter the sewer, Birkin 3 during the elevator ride to the lab, Super Mr. X before you run back and board the train, and Birkin 5 as the train leaves the city. I think the different boss fights made the original feel special. In the remake, the game does suffer from recycled bosses syndrome. I feel like this is a great way to differentiate the two playthroughs, giving them each some unique scenarios. And yes, I know, retracting the ladder doesn't make a whole lot of sense, as Birkin 1 has a move that drops down from the platform above, meaning he surely can climb up a level. But think about it from Sherry and Claire's perspective. You just fought off a monster, your adrenaline is high, you're shaking, and you're probably not thinking rationally. Retracting the ladder and hope in vain that the monster doesn't follow you seems like a good idea for the time. Sherry could be the one doing it, seeing as she's young and scared. Doing so will make herself feel better. Besides, Birkin 1 is unconscious. How does he know where they went after he gets up? I don't know. Leave a comment below if you have a better explanation. And this ends my change to the first boss fight. Now the narrative flows much better. Address the story inconsistencies and give each playthrough its first unique boss fight. I know there are more glaring inconsistencies, such as why both Claire A and Leon B need to unlock the 3 medal statue. Did someone take the medal away and place them back where they were after Claire descended the unlocked statue, so the next person will have to search it out again? Marvin could have done it to prevent zombies from following you, but I put that up as necessary gameplay element rather than an inconsistent story flow. Please don't take this video as me bashing the game's narrative, or me saying, I'm better than Capcom at this, No, I love this game. I think it's mechanically the pinnacle of all Resident Evil games. It just kinda hurts to see such a beautiful and perfect game with a story inconsistency blemish. I just want to make small changes to turn a 9 out of 10 game to a 10 out of 10 game in my eyes, and hopefully in other people as well. Let me know if this change makes sense for you guys. How would you have changed it? Did you guys notice the inconsistency? And I'm sorry if there's a forum post somewhere addressing this exact problem. I haven't browsed every corner of the internet in existence. Next up, I will address the second boss fight. So I will see you guys then.